21st of March, 2022. I guess that means it's spring. I have a small story to tell today. My good friend Nance gave me a ride to Shop and Save, which was quite kind of her. I didn't give her any gas money. I'll have to remember to make up for that. On the way through the store, she taught me a fuzzy joke. I know fuzzy. I've listened to some of his routines. I even enjoy them. So learning that it was a fuzzy joke was an amusing, enjoyable moment for me. She picked up, on the way through the dairy aisle, a box of Land O'Lakes unsalted butter. There's the logo I know so well, except in the circle there is no Indian princess, no Native American princess, no Native American portrait. And she said, look, typical. They kept the land, they threw the Indians on. And I went, my mind went in so many directions at once because I know a lot of this history from the point of view of studying it. And I wanted to laugh because it is cruelly, darkly, amazingly funny. And I didn't know Fluffy could do that. I have new respect for him because he didn't just make me uncomfortable to be a white person. He made me glad to know that somebody is aware of this and trying to smarten up the public about it. That yes, there was codified systematic racism in the United States system. And if you don't believe that, you have a lot to learn, and it's going to be painful, I promise. I don't mean that as a threat. All my wisdom is pain. I think yours will be too. So I thought that was a hilarious joke, but it was also deeply, darkly true. It needs to be addressed every moment of every day. You people that don't think you need to address that or you should sweep it under the rug are missing the point. This is what happens when you sweep it under the rug. That's where the abuse begins, when you let people in private talk about you in desultory terms. That's right. When they feel that's cool because other people are not like getting in their face about it. Yeah. It's part of bullying. It's also part of human behavior. In case you folks don't know this, and I bet most of you do by now, humans do not like one big group. Humans like to factionalize. Look, all the red-haired people are going to hang together. It's called Ireland, Scotland, Finland. Look, all the black-skinned, black-haired, black-eyed people are going to hang together. It's called Australia, right? Vast parts of Africa. So all the people with white woolly hair, right? They're old people in the Mediterranean, in the South Mediterranean especially. And we love to factionalize. So there we go. We don't just have Pennsylvanians and Minnesotans and Louisianans. We have Alleghanians and we have Bradford Countyans and we have, right? Each one wants a better shot for him and his children than the other guys are getting. He doesn't want them to get anything he doesn't get. So let me know what they're getting so I know what I can ask for. We factionalize. So in one country, if you folks vote, you won't know this, but if you study history, you will have learned this already. There aren't just two parties in the American system. There aren't just two parties in the American stripped down, pretend adversarial system where the wealthiest people on earth make rules for the people that have nothing. If you don't know this, you have a lot to learn about government. Only oligarchies exist, and oligarchies create military strongmen by supporting them with funds. So there are only two forms of government you see: military juntas, where there's abuse of the poor and abuse of everybody for the aggrandizement of a very special few, and oligarchy, where it's exactly the same, except less guns fired. And it's not run by the military, it's run by the oligarchs themselves. Instead of having a proxy war where they support a military junta that will benefit them, they instead take over the reins themselves and rule. And better control that military. Yeah, that's right. That's what a lot of propaganda is about. It's making sure the military loves you. And it should. Wait, where's your paycheck coming from? Shouldn't you be loyal to the person that's paying you? In most ways, that's a good thing. In some ways, that's a bad thing. Because the person who's paying you is a murdering, raping, molesting bastard, then you're not doing a good thing by being loyal to him. This is a problem that the Japanese culture had with the Yakuza. They had also unions and aristocracy owners. Their unions were called the Yakuza, organized crime. Today, their government is organized crime and has a very strong Yakuza component because they are movers and shakers in the Japanese government. Their illegal businesses bring them in amounts of money that make them as weighty as the landed gentry. You know what that feels like if you're a landed noble and some upstart from some criminal organization that you only supported because it was benefiting you, and now he's acting like he can walk in the door first? Study the culture of Japan. You'll learn things that I don't know, and you'll be amazed. You'll be like, huh, well, Bill thought that, oh no, see, now I know that he was wrong because I want to hear those moments from you. I do. I want to live in a world full of smartened up people where when I'm doing something boneheaded, they say, huh, Bill's doing something boneheaded. And I go, I hear that out of the corner of my ear and go, am I? Right? And where I do things that when people who are boneheaded see them, they think like, well, that's less boneheaded than me. Maybe I'll do some of that. I don't live in that world, but I live in a world where there are a lot of very capable people. Otherwise, we wouldn't have civilization. Problem solvers. There's a reason for that that is so scary. I don't want to deal with the ramifications right now, but I've discussed them in detail with a friend of mine who I consider to be a genius. A multidisciplinary genius as well, a person who is equally capable of speaking on several topics with great deep understanding at the same time. Whereas I'm an autodidact. My genius has limits. It has limits both in the subjects I find interesting, as opposed to my imprinting, and also the depth that I can pursue those subjects before ADHD takes me in some other direction. Look, a butterfly went by. Oh gosh. You know. Ooh, Bozo the Clown's on. So. But we have some very deep conversations about this stuff, and these are the subjects we discuss. We discuss the nature of economy. We discuss the nature of world trade. We discuss the nature of living in isolation and what its ramifications are. These are good stories to tell, but I can't really tell them. Today I'm telling a different story. But I was talking about there being only two governmental systems: military strongmen, juntas, and oligarchy. And everything else is not even smoke and mirrors. It's people not bothering to tell you the way things really are, because that might make you competition. If you wisened up, you could compete with them, and they wouldn't like that. And they're special, and their mommy didn't make no junk from her vagina, and so you're not allowed to know that unless you really work really hard, and you'll do that by benefiting them. That's how you earn your way. And you may or may not be able to progress. Someone may put up a barrier and say, no, I like you right there. No Peter principle for you. So anyway, I want to tell you the two fun things that happened. The first went to Nance. Nance dragged me over to Shop and Save, and on the way through, as I said, we found the Fuzzy Iglesias moment. Fuzzy, that was a deep, dark, beautiful joke. Thank you for it. As a white person, I have to thank you for it because it smartens me up even though I knew better already. And the second thing that happened is we walked into the line to check out. There was a new cashier there. She couldn't have been more than 16 years old. Very soft, redhead, you know, like kind of looking away from us. We walked up, and Nance bagged her own stuff and bagged mine too, because Nance worked in retail 35 years. She knows what she's done. She can run a register. She can run a store. She can close. She can open. Professional skill set. Don't we all wish we had it? She's got it. And it cost her all wisdom is pain. So this girl, she didn't look so much nervous as she was kind of like looking away, right? And that's, maybe it's her first day on the job. So I have to be nice and polite and easy to get along with. Yeah, right, I want Bill. So I walked up and I stood on the one side of the glass. I says, welcome to Shop and Save. I'll be your next problem senior. She went, burst out laughing. It's like quieted down real quick, you know. But at least now we know where we stand, right? Okay. So I got to go through the line there, and then Nancy and I talked the stories over as we left, and I found out that that was a Fuzzy Iglesias joke that she had told me with the butter, and of course that's just Bill being Bill, walking past somebody in the hopes of getting a laugh, in the hopes of somebody saying, there was this crazy senior in here today, he made a serious joke. Does anybody remember what he said? But whatever it was so funny, right? Because that's immortality. And if you don't know that, you have a lot to learn to be an entertainer. So that's pretty much what I had to say. And I hope I didn't rant too much about anything, and I hope I didn't rave enough about anything to put anybody off, though I did hope that I truthed enough that people that spent the time with this were like, oh, or yeah, or you don't have to flog a dead horse, Bill, or something, reacted, maybe remembered it, maybe thought, Wild Bill makes some points, and maybe when I'm dead, you'll remember me one day. And you'll say, do you remember that guy with the beard? What was his name again? And I'm immortal. Thanks. This is Wild Bill on immortality.